Oh, there we go. We are live. Oh, okay. We are live. Hey, sorry guys. Again, I don't know why YouTube with the streaming is being such a struggle for me, but it is. But we're live. Let's give it like a 30 seconds or so before I get into it. Thanks for sticking around though, guys. Oh, super frustrating, but who am I liking for captain? Well, it depends. Like, are we talking a safe lineup or risky? If we're talking safe lineups, I think Cooper Kupp is really safe in the captain spot. Again, he's just getting targeted so much. 12, 9, or 10, 9, 12, and 15 targets. I think Cooper Kupp's probably the safest option. Both quarterbacks, too, seem to have a pretty high floor. So I wouldn't mind going either. I think I would lean towards Russell Wilson. Um, but yeah, those three would probably be the safest for captains. And then as far as like riskier captains, I wouldn't mind taking a shot on one of the really cheap guys, maybe one of the Seattle receivers or one of the Rams tight ends. That's kind of what I'm looking like right now for captain. Um, okay, so let's jump into it, guys. If you didn't watch my video, we'll go over the spread real quick. So again, sitting at 49 with a 1.5 point spread, so it's a close game. Should be some pretty high scoring. Hopefully, again, these showdown slates have been so brutal this year, so hopefully we get a good game tonight. The weather, I'm not too concerned about. I think it's lightly raining. I think it like stopped though, so not too concerned about the weather. Captain, Kupp, Brown, Carson, Everett, Lockett, Wilson. Thoughts? Um, yeah, I mean all those seem pretty good to me. Malcolm Brown's not a guy I'm too high on, but again, he can vulture a touchdown for sure in 25% of the snaps. But yeah, and snap counts really quick, guys. It's Gurley at 75%, Malcolm Brown picking up the rest, and the three receivers basically play the whole game. Reynolds, I mean, you can throw a dart throw. He's probably going to get anywhere from like 15 to 25% of the snaps, and then it's the two tight ends getting about 50%. And then quickly for Seattle, it's Carson sitting at 75%. I think Process is going to be phased out of the lineup with RASHAAD Penny back, but you never know. So CJ Process, I don't think I would go there. I don't think I would go with Penny either coming back from injury. So it'd really be Carson for me, and that's it as far as the Seattle running backs. And then it's Lockett basically playing the whole game. Metcalf, the snaps went down a bit on him. He's a little more boomer bust. And then the third receiver is kind of a toss-up right now with Jerron Brown, David Moore, and Blake Turner. Probably wouldn't go Blake Turner, but David Moore and Jerron Brown, with Brown playing 56% of the snaps and David Moore playing 40% of the snaps. Those are two guys that are really cheap. Obviously, a lot of risk involved, but they do have a little bit of upside here. Who's the sneaky captain? Sneaky captains. Let's see. I think Cooks is a guy that I kind of like at 7.8K. Again, I think a lot of the ownership is going to go to Cooper Kupp in the captain spot, or even one of the running backs. I think Cooks goes a little under the radar, and he's the guy that, again, a little more boomer bust mentality, but he does have a lot of upside. He's going to run, a lot of those big routes, so he's one that could break one anytime. So I don't mind Cooks as a sneakier captain. And then the mid-range is really a range I'm staying away from. Disley, I get it. He can still get you there at 7.6K. I just prefer guys in his price range. Like I prefer Cooks, I prefer Woods, I prefer Carson to Disley. So not really looking at Disley. Same thing with Metcalf. I get it if you want to go there. He's got a little more boomer bust mentality, but just not the way I'm going on this slate. I don't really like the mid-range. RASHAAD Penny, again, probably going to stay away from. He's coming back from injury. I'd say 25 to 30% of the snaps probably, but unless Chris Carson fumbles, then I can see him getting a little more work maybe. The kickers are definitely viable. Probably safe to project them for 5 to 10 fantasy points. So as a safe option, wouldn't mind going the kickers. You could still play him in a GPP too. Malcolm Brown's okay. Probably going to get like 25% of the snaps. Can he vulture a touchdown? Sure. And then it's the two tight ends, Everett and Higbee playing at like 50% of the snaps. Wouldn't mind taking a shot at either of those guys. Again, Process is kind of a guy I'm off. And then it's the number 3 receiver for Seattle with Jaron Brown and David Moore. David Moore at 600, Jaron Brown at 1,400. I'd assume they kind of split the work, maybe 50% of the snaps for each. So those guys are definitely viable as well if you want a really cheap option. And that's about it. Let's see. I think Moore is healthy this week and plays more snaps than Brown. Brown was cut by the team and re-signed only when Moore is hurt. Moore is priority in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, it's close for me. Jaron Brown has played more snaps, but Moore has been, coming back from injury. I could definitely see David Moore playing more snaps tonight. It's tough to project for me. Again, I think both are pretty similar here with David Moore and Jaron Brown, but I could definitely see David Moore getting a few more snaps. But yeah, let's talk about the running backs with Gurley and Carson. I think they're pretty safe. Both are, get involved in the passing game and the receiving game too. Gurley, we saw it when the Rams fell down big. Got targeted big time there with 11 targets, 7 catches. So he's definitely a guy. He hasn't flashed the big upside yet this season. Still not looking like himself fully, but at 75% of the snaps, this could be the breakout game for Todd Gurley. 8.8K is a pretty cheap price tag for him, and I don't think a lot of people are going to be on him. I don't know. I don't have a great feel. I think a lot of people are going to go with the 2 quarterbacks and then the wide receivers. So maybe the running backs go a little lower owned, but they're definitely safe just because they're guaranteed volume. Carson's a little riskier just because, again, he's had the fumbling problem. Rashad Penny being back. Again, if he fumbles again this game, he could be benched. So that is the concern with Carson, but both definitely viable. Both are pretty safe, I think, at 8.8 and 8.2K. Let's see. So quarterbacks in the captain spot, normally not something I do, but on this slate, it's definitely something I'm considering, and I would probably lean towards Wilson. You could go Goff, but I just like Wilson because he has the rushing upside on him. He's not a guy that's going to rush for like 100 yards, but he can get 20 to 30 yards on the ground and a rushing touchdown. So for that reason, I think I would consider Russell Wilson in the captain spot. Let's see. Cooper Kupp, again, I talked about it a lot. Like he's really safe in my opinion. Just started so much. He's gonna be pretty popular though. I think he's gonna be the most popular play in the slate, I guess. Yeah, I think Cooper Kupp's probably the most popular guy in the slate. So if you want pivot for ownership, obviously it's Woods and Cooks. Both are out there like the whole game too. So yeah, both are definitely viable. Kupp seems really safe. Lockett, a guy a little more boom or bust this season, but he's basically out there the whole game. I could see a big game out of Tyler Lockett today at 9.4K, so don't mind him either. Again, Disley, like I've been asked about him a few times. I know he's had 3 really good games here, but I just don't see the huge upside on him. I like the upside a little bit more with Cooks, Woods, and Carson. But Disley could still get you there. I'm not saying to not play Disley. I just prefer other guys in the price range. Again, the mid-tier range, something that I'm kind of avoiding, like Disley, Metcalf, Rashard Penny. Both defenses. Don't think I want to go with the defenses in this slate, but the way the Showdown slate's been going this year, like you just want to load up in the defenses and the kickers, but I really think this one should be higher scoring, should be more fun to watch, hopefully. Again, between the kickers, I think I would lean towards Greg the Leg. He's the better kicker in my opinion. But both definitely viable. I think Greg the Leg will probably get double the ownership as Jason Myers. As far as the 2 tight ends with the Rams, like who I prefer between Gerald Everett and Higbee, it's close. Everett had the big game their last game, so I think the ownership's going to be a lot higher in Gerald Everett. But Higbee's definitely viable too at, what is that, $1,200 discount. So still wouldn't mind Higbee. Again, he got targeted, 7 times there. So both definitely viable. I think Everett's going to be a little bit higher owned, but it's basically a coin flip for me between those 2 guys. Okay, other cheap guys. Again, the Seattle number 3 receiver, it's close for me between Jaron Brown and David Moore. I could see David Moore getting more snaps. I could see Jaron Brown getting more snaps. The snaps last game were Jaron Brown picking up 56%, David Moore picking up 40%, but the snaps are going up for David Moore again. He's coming back from injury, so I could definitely see David Moore playing a little bit more. Luke Wilson has a really dark a really deep dart throw at 200, but I don't think we have to go there. He played on, let's see, he played on 25% of the snaps last game. I mean, he's going to back up Will Dissly. Maybe the Dissly snaps go down a little bit, but I mean, Luke Wilson at this point in his career is more of a blocking tight end, so I really don't think we have to take a shot on him. And that's basically it. Like this, the player pool is pretty thin on this slate. It's a lot of the guys up top I like, and then the two Ram tight ends and the two Seattle receivers that I would take a shot on the cheap range, and obviously the two kickers too. It's really, that's how I'm looking. Again, the mid-range is almost a cross-off for me. So from Wilson to Cooks, the top range, obviously, and then it's the two kickers, the two Rams tight ends, and the two Seattle receivers that I would take a shot on the cheap range. So that's kind of my thoughts right now on this slate. Let's see, why is this? Who you guys have in the captain right now? But yeah, so like contrarian builds, I always like taking a shot on like cheaper guys in the captain spot. So if we go with either David Moore or Jerron Brown, you can throw them in the captain spot, and then basically get whoever else you want. That's what 9.8K remaining. So you could literally plug and play basically these top 5 guys and go from there. That's a strategy I don't mind. If you go with like Russell Wilson, the captain spot, definitely get some correlation. So go like Lockett, go DK Metcalf. Get a little bit of correlation. Go Dissly. But the problem is if you go with one of those like really expensive guys in the captain spot, then you could probably get three or four of these top guys. So we go Kupp, Jared Goff. Yeah, so you can get 4 of like the top guys if you throw in Wilson at the captain spot. As far as like the mid-range, again, I'm kind of avoiding it, but contrarian builds would be Will Dissly and DK Metcalf at the captain spot. I don't think a lot of people are going to do that. Let's see, Cooks. Yeah, I like Cooks. I think he goes a little bit lower owned as far as captains go, so I think Cooks is a pretty solid captain spot here. I think he has some upside. Playing Metcalf and Gurley, same lineup. I see everywhere to sit them and prob for good reason. That's why I'm playing them. Play to win big. Yeah, 100%. Like in these showdown slates, I'm going risky. I'm going to risk it with guys I think are going to go lower owned. So I like that strategy a lot. Metcalf and Moore for me. Okay, yeah. David Moore, definitely viable. Me personally, like right now, my lineup, I have Jerron Brown in the captain spot. It's like, again, it's a coin flip for me with him and David Moore. Fade Gurley for GPPs. Yeah, that's tough. I don't think the ownership's going to be that high on Todd Gurley. Again, I think a lot of people are going to gravitate towards the receivers and Kupp, Woods, and Cook. So maybe Gurley goes a little lower owned. Again, he really hasn't had a breakout game yet. Well, I guess, that game against Tampa Bay did score 2 touchdowns. Gurley is someone I'm definitely considering. I don't have him in my lineup, but the price point seems pretty fair there at 8.8K. Russell and captain play Brown and Moore. That will be different. Yeah, 100% you could do that. So if you go Russell at the captain and then play both the cheap receivers with Jerron Brown and David Moore, then you fit in whoever else you want from there. So that's a build too that I kind of like, and you get the upside too with Wilson if he has a huge game. The over/under pushing 50. This one should be pretty high scoring. No, I don't mind it. I mean, you got to be different. Like, again, I'm not playing these slates to make money. I'm playing it to risk it, go for it all in these big tournaments. So usually, again, if you want a really unique lineup, I usually say $2,000 to $3,000 leave on the table to be safe. I mean, you could leave more, like $4,000 on the table, and just go for it all. So that's kind of my approach on these slates. I'm not really playing it safe to double my money. I'm playing it really risky. I want a unique lineup. I want guys in the captain spot that not a lot of people are going to have. Like I said, I'm going Jerron Brown. I don't feel great about it, but if he catches a long touchdown, then I'm golden. And I think, maybe 2 to 5% of people will have Jerron Brown in the captain spot, so then I'm way ahead. We got, 4 minutes till lock. Let's see. So what do I, as far as like a really safe lineup, this is probably what I would go. If you guys want a really safe like cash game lineup, I don't recommend playing cash game lineups, so I would probably go either Kupp, one of the running backs, or one of the quarterbacks at the captain spot. I guess right now I would lean towards Cooper Kupp, and then get both quarterbacks in there. Probably a kicker too. Where are the kickers? Probably Greg the Leg, feel a little safer about. And that's 5.7K remaining. Then you can get like one of these top guys and go with a cheap guy. So that would probably be a lineup I feel pretty safe about if you're trying to just go like a really safe cash game lineup. You got Kupp or either one of the quarterbacks. They have like the highest floor, so probably Wilson. Then you can run back with Kupp, Jared Goff, and then a kicker again. These are builds that I think are pretty safe. And you got 5.4K remaining. You can probably squeeze in one of these top 6 guys here, and then go with a really cheap option. So don't mind that strategy if you want to go like a really safe lineup. Let's see. We got 3 minutes to lock. Thanks for coming to check out the stream, guys. Sorry about it. The last few streams now I've really been struggling with the YouTube. Hopefully I'll get it figured out for the next stream, but yeah, 2 minutes to lock. I'll stay live after a few minutes to go over some ownership, see what it's looking like. But as far as like the really high owned guys, again, I think it's gonna be Kupp, both quarterbacks, and Gurley or Carson. I think those 5 will probably be the most high owned guys in this slate. Let me do a quick Twitter search, see if anything's coming up for Jaron Brown versus David Moore. Yeah, it's almost a coin flip to me, for me. I think the over-under of Jaron Brown's receiving yards, was 17.5. I saw, yeah, 17.5 for Jaron Brown. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't feel great about it, but in these slates, I go for riskier lineups, so. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're going to get a clear definitive news on who's going to get more snaps, but. Let's see, I'm going risky and going no QB. Wow, that's definitely really risky. You thinking this would be like a lower scoring game, like most of these primetime games have been? Yeah, that's a lineup that I think will be very, very contrarian. No quarterback, so that's obviously probably load up on both running backs then, right? Didn't even think about that, but I mean, I guess it's worth a shot. Like, you never know. Yeah, good luck, guys. Again, thanks for coming to check out the stream. Sorry about that. It took me like 5 to 10 minutes to get it going. If you're new to the channel, though, hit the subscribe button if you enjoy the content. We got new videos up every single day talking NFL DFS as well as NBA DFS. All right, we're live. It always takes a few minutes to load up ownership, so we'll give it a minute or two. We also got the NBA preseason showdown slate is tonight. It's at midnight, though, or midnight Central, 1 o'clock Eastern. I'll let you know how it goes next time. Yeah, we got. It's not showing up in my NBA app. But Rockets and Clippers showdown slate. I probably won't stay awake for it, but as of right now, there is some overlay in that slate. If you guys are interested in playing, we got, 800 out of 2,300 filled right now in the $10 entry for the preseason NBA. So maybe get some entries into that, and if you're going to stay up, I think it would be viable. 7:21. Give it another minute. DraftKings always takes like at least 2 or 3 minutes to load. Let's see. Oh, there we go. All right. Wait, which one is the big? Is this the big tournament? Oh, this one is. I just made 2 $10 lineups. So this is what I went with. Again, I told you guys I was rolling Jaron Brown. Wouldn't mind him or David Moore. 10% owned. He's a little higher owned than I thought he would be. I got Cooks in there at 35%, Goff and Cooper Kupp. So Russell Wilson was the highest on at 73%. Okay, I mean, I thought it'd be Kupp, but both Kupp and both quarterbacks pretty high owned. Same with Lockett. I want no running backs, but don't feel great about him. It's obviously risky fading both Carson and Gurley. Let's look at some other ownerships. The defense is 17% and 11%. I mean, again, the way the showdown slate's been going this year, you want to load up in the defenses, but I really think this one should be a higher scoring game. Gurley at 42%. Sounds about right to me. Tyler Higbee at 12%. Again, he was a value guy that I definitely was considering, him and Everett. CJ Procise at 2%. That's probably lighting money on fire, to be honest, with RASHAAD Penny back. I mean, I guess Seattle could run a three-headed monster, but I think CJ Procise gets phased out of that. The only way I can see him really getting you there, getting snaps if Seattle falls behind big, then I could see CJ Procise getting you there. But yeah, I think that's that 2% of people probably lighting money on fire. Luke Wilson at 4%. Like I said, that's higher than I thought it would be. Can he catch a touchdown? Yeah, but really at this point in his career, he's more of a blocking tight end. RASHAAD Penny at 16%. Probably still faded that ownership. Coming back from a hamstring injury always worries me. The only way I can see him getting you there is if Chris Carson gets injured. Carson at 45%. Yeah, so both running backs at about 50%. DK at 25%. He's more boomer bust. He can definitely get you there. Like, I could see him getting over 100 yards and a touchdown for sure. So 25%, don't mind that. Greg the Leg, yeah. I mean, I knew he was going to be the higher owned kicker at 36%. Let's see, what else we got? David Moore's 9%. Okay, so it was basically a coin flip for me with Jerron Brown and David Moore. Jerron Brown 10%, David Moore 9%. Don't mind either of that. Let's see. What else? Will Dissly at 32%. Probably would fade it. I mean, I prefer Woods and Cooks there for sure in that price range. I'm not saying like to just completely cross off Dissly, but again, I liked other guys in that price range. Who else? Have we not seen anyone? More 0.72% captain. Oh yeah, I forgot you can see the ownership in your captain. Wait, how do I get back to my lineup? God damn it. Fuck. Might just go back here. I forgot you can see that ownership in the in your captain spot. What percent owned? Does it not show it on DraftKings? Do I have to go in the app? Let me see what it says in the app. Maybe it's only on the app that it shows it. I don't see it anywhere. I mean, I see the draft percentage, but I don't see the percentage in the captain. Let's see. I got Jerron Brown at 1% in the captain. I'll take that. So if he scores a long touchdown run, then I'm golden, or a long touchdown catch. Metcalf 4.8% captain. We'll take that as well. Yeah, 100%. That's really good for Metcalf in the captain. I mean, he's more boomer bust. I could definitely see him getting you there. So I like that ownership a lot on him in the captain spot. Jerron Brown at 1.1%. I checked the phone. Yeah, so Jerron Brown 1.1% in the captain spot. This guy played Seahawks this guy played both defenses. I mean, again, the way the showdown slate's been going, that's been optimal, really. But I don't think it's going to be optimal in this slate. Hopefully, I really want a lot of points scored and a fun game to watch. But yeah, I think that's about it. I mean, I covered basically everyone here in the ownerships. Yeah, time to go watch the game. Yeah, I think I'm going to hop off here, guys. Thanks again for coming on to check out the stream. I'm going to have a full breakdown of the Week 5 main slate up on my channel probably tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. Maybe I'll do a live stream for the NBA preseason on Saturday, too, if you guys are interested. So, again, thanks for coming out, guys. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you guys later.